Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Pop-Pop.
I'm Matt.
I'm Callie.
I'm Daniel.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
I'm Girl.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help.
Woo! Points!
Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to have you. We are dealing with a lot of wind here today. The weather today wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't for the wind. The wind is really bringing our temperature down. That wind chill is down into the single digits today. In our last video, we did something that was very important. We got this whole end section closed off to the greenhouse. One of the biggest reasons why we wanted to do that is because the temperature is dropping so low. Now, the fact of the matter is a lot of the plants in this greenhouse can handle colder temperatures. However, they've been putting on a lot of new growth and the temperature is gonna dip down a little bit colder than what some of this stuff can handle. So we did a little work in greenhouse number 6. We got the end closed off, we got the tractor pulled out, we did a little bit of cleaning up, and we made sure that our heater was working correctly. However, we do have one little problem. We had a little bit of trouble with the exhaust vent for our heater, so we're gonna need to pick up a new one. Dad ran out to grab one. We thought about using this high heat tape that we have, but we felt like it was a good idea to make sure it was fixed correctly. So Dad, right away, he ran off to pick up some equipment to get that all repaired. When it comes to these colder temperatures, the only things that are really affected by it right now are us and the plants. The cattle, they don't seem to mind, and it looks like they're about to head out to pasture. For the past few days, we haven't seen much of them because the grass has been greening up so much. They've been over on the far hill just eating and eating. And that's a good thing because that's where we want them to be. That's cheap feed. What do you think? You think that's a good idea? Oh yeah, yeah, I know you agree. Now, the first job that we have for today, it is an interesting one. What are we gonna be doing, Daniel?
We're cutting up horseradish.
This is a job you have seen us do many, many times. What we're gonna be doing is taking off this outer bark or this peel, and we're gonna be cubing it up. We're not gonna be grinding it today. We're gonna save that for tomorrow, but that's what the goal is, to get all this stuff peeled and chopped. Now, to give you an idea of how we like to do this, we will take the end that is a little more difficult to peel, and we will slice that off. And then we will come in with our vegetable peelers. You can use basically a knife or a vegetable peeler. And this is what we use to peel the outside husk, bark, skin, whatever you want to call it, off of the horseradish. Just like that. Cleaning it up really, really nice. Now, if you've never had horseradish before, it is very spicy. Not only to the taste, but to the eyeballs. As we start to peel this, as we start to reveal that flesh, there's little particles that start floating through the air, and it will irritate your eyes if you have sensitive skin. This also could irritate your skin. So we've done this for a very long time. We have tried to use goggles. It doesn't work too well for this. When it comes to grinding it though, we will wear goggles as it makes it a lot easier on us, or we'll use a bag to try and hold that vapor in. So once we get it to this point, we'll then come through and cube it up so that it's a little easier for our grinder. And that right there is how we get our horseradish. We then put it into our tub and get started on some more. Now, I haven't done this since December. And we just started, my eyes are already burning. Oh my goodness, I'm out of practice. Little baby. Now, over the years and as we've made more and more videos on horseradish, I've gotten a lot of questions about it, and because of that, I've done a little bit of research. So the name horseradish, or where this vegetable or root gets its name, it's from the German pronunciation of Meerwitsch, and I'm probably not even saying that right, and it basically meant sea radish, where the English heard that translation, Meerwitsch, they thought they were saying mare, as in horse. And that's how it eventually got changed all the way over to horseradish, because they had likened it, or the Germans had basically called it like a sea radish, but when that was translated into English, it was translated as horse, from mare to mare. It's very interesting. And another thing I always found was very, very interesting about this stuff is that the local Native Americans loved it. They used it for so many different things. I mean, this can definitely add a lot of flavor to whatever you're eating. And I know the local people that come to the farm market, they love when we're making horseradish. They love smelling it, and they love the bite of this. If you've never had it, this thing like attacks your sinuses when you're eating it. It can be a little overwhelming. When we make ours, the only ingredients that we have is horseradish and vinegar. We only use a little bit of vinegar. And then we also do a red beet horseradish, so it'll be horseradish, red beet, and vinegar. So, you know, it's nothing too crazy. That's the only recipes that we use, and it's very, very popular. A lot of people enjoy eating this stuff with ham. And we're getting to another time of the year where people are going to be eating a lot of ham locally. So horseradish needs to be made. Nobody's crying yet, don't ask.
Except for Andrew.
Nope, I'm not crying. My eyes are just slightly irritated. We're now on to our last bag of horseradish. You can see we now have Dad, Daniel, Matthew, and myself working on it. Tub is getting pretty full, and let me tell you, it smells spicy up in here. We've now got all the horseradish all chopped up and we'll be all set to grind. But that's something we're gonna worry about tomorrow. Just giving you a look as to how much we got. There's quite a bit there. So the horseradish that we got in, we got it all cleaned up. We've now got it peeled and chopped. We're gonna grind tomorrow. So that's pretty fresh. A lot of the customers are gonna be able to pick it up tomorrow. So they're gonna get a lot of nice, hot, fresh horseradish. Now that we're all finished off with horseradish, our next job that we have to get done brings us down into the largest greenhouse. We ran into a little bit of a problem where the belt on our fan had broken off and it stopped our tunnel here from working. Now what's interesting about this tunnel is our fan all the way at the front will force air into it and it will help to regulate the temperature in our greenhouse. We have a big one over there. We have a big one over there at the far end of the greenhouse. So it's not like the end of the world. However, it's much better for everything when this middle one is working. So we're gonna get it reattached. We're gonna get our new belt put on there and start forcing air down through the greenhouse. We've now got the belt on the fan. We just need to turn it on and make sure everything's working. That looks good, back to normal. And you can already feel the hot air coming from the heater being blown down through the tube. This is just a unique tool that you never really even think about, but we're so happy that we have it. It makes this greenhouse life so much easier. Oh, lost a plant. Where did we go? Who's this from? Oh boy. Oh, found it. Thought I lost a plant, but I found it.
I believe yours is the same as the 6-inch box.
Yeah, I've read Deuce. In one of our previous videos, when we had brought down these tomatoes, we put them on the back of this wagon and just drove them down here. It was really, really easy. However, we felt like it was too cold today to leave any of these tomatoes on the wagon for an extended period of time. That's why we decided to carry them all down by hand. It's a little extra work, but if it prevents us from losing any of these tomatoes, then I don't mind doing it. So with these new tomatoes that we added in here today, we added quite a few selections. We added a few of our cherry tomatoes. We have some orange, some red cherry in here. We also have a few more varieties of tomatoes, like the big round tomato. So this is exciting, but we are making a lot of progress on this planting of tomatoes. If we were to jump over to greenhouse number 4, I could show you the early tomatoes that we had seeded. I would say these, for our local area, are probably like our first big planting. We will add more if we need to. We don't get any plants in, we start everything ourselves. So once we run out of something, it's kind of gone. We try and make sure that we have plenty for the people in the local area. We have been getting more and more visitors for planting time. So it's something that we really can't do too much about. I mean, if you told me how much we were gonna sell of each variety of tomato, this would make my job a lot easier. Sadly, we can't do that. And we don't know what tomato is gonna be popular year to year. So that's why we always make sure we have a really, really nice variety and that we do our best to make sure all the tomatoes look beautiful. The plants are nice and tall, they have a vibrant green color to them, and they're gonna do great for the customer when they take them home. This is just some of the stuff we have to think about when it comes to planting time. I know over here our cole crops, these aren't gonna stay here forever. In about 3 to 4 weeks time, they could be going into the soil. Yeah, that's exciting to think about. The only complaint I would have about carrying all these plants down by hand is 1, it takes a very, very long time. And 2, and probably the most frustrating reason, when you come outside and it's super windy like it is today, all that dirt blows right up in your face. Yeah, that's not fun. You gotta watch those eyeballs. Matthew is back here getting our exhaust all hooked up. Dad had to run out and grab a little piece. He got that, and Matt's putting it all into place. You got a screw for me, Dad?
I'll figure something out.
Now, we could technically run that heater without having that exhaust vent on, but one big problem we would have is if the heater did kick on, it would actually turn these plants yellow. Yeah, we've seen it happen before. So our heater just kicked on. We know that it's working. We've got our exhaust connected. Oh, that's good. This is gonna make everything so much better. Tonight, temperatures are dipping down really, really low. We're gonna have real feels into the singles. Don't know if it's gonna get down into the negatives, but it's gonna be cold. So it is very important that all these heaters are working correctly. In this one, it's definitely working. Oof. Oh, what just showed up?
I have no idea. All the late petunias.
Uh-oh, all this stuff is here already? We just got in a shipment of some of our late flowers that we're gonna be selling. So we usually go through one big pile of flowers and then we'll start our second pile of flowers, and this would be part of the second. Yeah, we're a little concerned as to where all this stuff is gonna go, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I was hoping it was chicken nest.
There's tags. Oh, nice.
Oh, no.
Tag explosion. Have you ever seen plants just come out of boxes like this? That's the way they're shipped sometimes. And we're gonna get them out here. We're gonna let them sit for a while. Let them get acclimated to this temperature because it's like 20 degrees outside. Really, really cold. And you know, you can just get plants shipped in the mail. That's something.
Aren't they supposed to come in the middle of the month?
Yeah.
That's how
It's almost the middle of the month, right? I think.
The only time things are ever early is when we don't want them.
Aunt Rhonda just walked in the door, and I know the first thought in her head is like, where am I gonna put these things? It's a lot. We've got one more box to go through. You're gonna put them in my greenhouse? Oh no!
This box was on that side.
This is all the stuff that we had just received in those 3 boxes. We got it on this table. We had to move a few of the 98s that we were filling. Now these 98s are for something very, very special. We're not gonna be able to do it all today. We've only got a few more to fill up, and then we're moving up to the germination greenhouse. With how nasty the weather is outside, I'm happy that we have these greenhouses to work in. All those trays that we just had filled, we've brought them up into the germination greenhouse. And right now, Matthew is looking through some seed because we are gonna be seeding peppers today. Now, the really exciting thing about the peppers that we're seeding today is that they are gonna be for us. We are gonna eventually be transplanting the peppers we seed today out into the fields. Do we wanna do all this variety, the bigger ones, or do you wanna do some of the smaller ones too?
You tell me what you want. I don't care. I would just assume do all the big ones. And
Yeah, that's fine. Do the big ones, because I pick them green. So what do we've got first?
we're doing hot cherry peppers. We're doing our hot cherry peppers for the field. So we do 3/4 of what we plant now, and then we plant later, so we have green ones late. So we're not planting them yet. So we're planting 20 flats of hot cherry.
Now today we're focusing on the hot peppers. Why are we just doing hot peppers?
What's this arm thing that's going on?
This is like, I'm making my point. Like,
It takes a little longer for hot peppers to germinate, so we're gonna start with the hot peppers, but we hope to get all the peppers planted. What are you doing to me now?
He does this all the time with his hat. I don't know.
What are we talking about right now?
a hot cherry pepper seed. Anyway, we're basically starting with the hot peppers today because they take a little longer to germinate, and we're gonna need a lot of peppers. Well, that looks really, really good. It's taken us a little bit longer to get these seeds into the trays, but that's because we're trying to make sure we have one seed in each cell. We can usually move a little faster, but we're just trying to be a little proactive, because if we don't act carefully now, or we don't work carefully now, it just affects us later on. So it's taken a little bit longer to get the trays filled up with seeds, but we think it's just gonna pay off in the long run. We've been making a lot of progress. We've got about 1,400, 1,500 seeds seeded. Something I always seem to forget is when we are seeding this stuff is how many peppers we are gonna receive when we finally do get to planting. And these are all hot cherry peppers. We still got more to seed here, but I mean, it's gonna be a lot of work soon, but I'm ready for it. I'm excited. I'd love to pick some peppers. The next thing we had scheduled to seed was some long hot peppers, but we're running out of time for today. So what we're doing to finish off up here in the greenhouse today is we're doing a little bit of watering and Dad's spraying me with the hose.
Accident, didn't do it on purpose.
Sweet cherry, I didn't have any sweet cherry, unfortunately. They took mixed it out.
Matthew just had something interesting go on down at the farm market. What'd you have to do?
I had to get pepper plants for somebody from Alabama. So they're taking pepper plants home and they're gonna plant them when they get home.
I guess they watch the videos.
They watch the video.
And while they're up here, they're like, might as well get some plants.
They're passing through.
See, we run into that a lot more than you would imagine, but that's okay. That's why we started those early peppers, and yeah, congratulations, you got your peppers. I have to say, coming out of that greenhouse after you've been working in there all day, it is not fun. The temperature was sitting about like 80 degrees in there. Doesn't feel like 80 degrees out here. Well, everyone, we are now home. Look who's over here. We got Mr. Ronnie. We got Miss Lily and Miss Callie. How are you doing today, Callie? Good. Good? And Mr. Ronnie, he's doing good. Mr. Ronnie and Miss Lily have been doing a lot of walking. They are getting really, really good at it. Tonight, the babies have got something special. They've got some chicken, avocado, cucumbers, and green beans for dinner. Woo! Both plates are pretty identical. So, we don't have to worry about who gets what. There you go, guys. Go ahead, dig in. I would show you Mommy, but Mommy has been putting in a lot of work taking care of these babies today, and she said, quote unquote, I'm a little tired, so we're gonna let Mommy rest. She's a hardworking woman. But over here, we're gonna be eating dinner. And this is where I'm gonna thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.